SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Never take your heart health for granted. For just $99, you can get a complete screening and know your risks. Call 601-249-5198 to schedule your Happy Healthy Heart screening at Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in on this Sunday edition. There we go. The Sunday edition of the podcast. My name is Michael Borky. Always glad that you are with me. It is raining and raining and raining outside, but we're going to talk baseball here inside on this edition of the show. Again, I'm so glad that you are with me. Ole Miss falls in Omaha, a quick trip to the College World Series for the Rebels. They lose to Troy today, 12-8, the final score. Kind of a bizarre game for a lot of reasons for Ole Miss. You got the rare balk call on Hunter Elliott, but it was not on his pickoff, which you thought that may have been coming at some point this season. No, that happened. You had a very bad missed fly ball on the infield, and you had relief pitching and starting pitching really just let you down today, and that cost Ole Miss their season. How do you feel about that? That is really the question. We'll talk about the game, but also in the context of how do you feel about the result on the field? How do you feel about the season? How would you grade the result this season? We'll talk about that. And then starting on Tuesday, we'll get into football. It is now officially football season, and the offseason is going to feel short. Baseball takes you to Omaha, makes the offseason feel really short, but it is full steam ahead for football. So looking forward to spending the summer talking about that with you guys, and looking forward to just being with you guys here, regardless of what's going on this edition of the podcast. This podcast, by the way, is brought to you by Scruggs in Saltillo. Anything you need all summer long, all fall, all winter, all spring, really, but all summer long, anything you need for your home improvement projects inside or outside. Also, great fishing, clothes, the cheapest beer in town, great boot selection, and 0% on your John Deere everything. 0% on zero turns, on 5 Series tractors, compact tractors, commercial mowers, and more. Even the Gators at just 1.9%, they've got you covered at Scruggs. 0% for all of your John Deeres at Scruggs. 3575 Tom Watson Drive in Saltillo. When you go, tell them that it was me that sent you there at Scruggs. Also, hit that QR code. Get geared up for college football season at the College Corner. They've got you covered. Just hit that QR code right there and shop at the College Corner. Get your game day polos, your hats, T-shirts, and more right there. And I'm so glad you're here. Don't forget to subscribe, all that good stuff. Wherever you have your podcast, just search Rebel Report and subscribe and leave a rating and a review. Again, Ole Miss loses in Omaha to Troy, 12-8, the final score. Hunter Elliott, this has kind of been, with a few exceptions, this has kind of been the story of the season with him. Just not able to consistently throw strikes, and yet again today, I mean, he struck out 9, but only got into the 5th, walked 4, also hit a batter, and then there was the balk. I know there's debate over the balk, but still, you have 4 strikeouts, a hit batter, 5 earned runs for Hunter Elliott on 4 2/3. Robertson's credited with giving up a pair of runs as well on just a couple of hits. Walker Hooks was really just did not have it today at all. He gave up 3 runs. Will Libert is credited with giving up a couple of runs as well. 7 walks for the Ole Miss pitching staff today. Hit the ball pretty okay. If you'd have told me going into this game that they're going to score 8 runs, I would have told you that, yeah, they're winning. We'll see on Tuesday night. Shout out Joe Buck. And that just did not happen. Federico was really good. He had 3 hits. Foley and Randall had a couple. Reuter had the big home run. He had a pair of RBI as well. Judd had the RBI single. Furness had the home run, and he walked a couple of times. 12 hits for the Ole Miss batters today. Again, if you'd have given me that I would have told you that Ole Miss is going to win this game, and they just simply did not. So how do you feel about it? How do you think? What is the reaction? Because, look, the stated goal every year is to go to Omaha. When you get to the College World Series, the season is a success. It is. When you get to the College World Series, that needs to be the starting point of any conversation that we have about baseball. If they get to the College World Series, a successful season was had. Period. It was. Going out this way, going 2-Q, getting bounced by Troy a year after, and I know, look, Troy's in Omaha. It's a good ball club. They had to go to Florida and win to get to where they were. But a year after getting eliminated by Murray State, it's a tough balance. I think we would be lying and I would be gaslighting you guys if I sat here and said, it does not matter that they went 0-2. It doesn't matter that they played poorly and lost to Troy because they made it to Omaha, and that is exclusively fine. Going out like this does give you I'm a wordsmith, right? I am a talker for a living. I'm supposed to contextualize things and all that. And the reaction to this is, oh, like if I'd have told all you going into the season, you're going to the College World Series, all of you would have been like, hell yeah, let's go. Great year. I can't wait. That's so exciting. And then I followed up with, they're going to lose their first 2 games, be the first team eliminated, and it's going to be Troy that knocks you out. You don't love how it happened, and the manner in which it happened is a very quintessential sports. And I know that there are a lot of people that, I've already seen the discourse. Well, Bianco sucks, all that stuff. Okay. The one thing that this team was really good at is the thing that really let them down in the College World Series. Sorry, I'm waffling a little bit, only because I hate not quote unquote blaming coaching for things that happen, because they're the ones that run the program. They're the ones that oversee all of this. It's their players that they recruit and develop and play and prepare. So I'm not going to do it's not the coach's fault, it's the player's fault. In this case, to me, the one thing that they were really good at this season failed them in certain spots. In game 1, they only scored 2 runs, but you had your 2 best bullpen arms. You had a really good quality start from Rabe. You go to Calhoun, and he's clearly emotionally not prepared for that moment at all. And then you go to Hooks, and he just didn't have it, gave up 3 runs in 2 innings. Those are your 2 best bullpen arms who have been so reliable all year. Rabe, Calhoun, Hooks win you almost all of your games. And then today, Hunter Elliott, your veteran, who albeit has really struggled a lot this season. He didn't have it again today. And then Hooks was, I mean, the stuff wasn't there. If you look at his pitches, he didn't have, they weren't the same. He just did not have it. And so when you go to those guys, when you build a 6-2 lead in this game today, and you've got Robertson and Hooks coming after that, you would have thought they would have won the game. And so their biggest strength just failed them, is what happened here. And that's really unfortunate. Leaves kind of a bad taste in your mouth walking away from a College World Series run, especially how it was. If they'd have lost both of these games 2-1, it would have been maybe a different conversation. And there's still some talking points that are valid, I think, to some degree. I don't know if approach necessarily is the wrong thing, but I think roster construction needs to be looked at a little bit here. There was too much swing and miss in this lineup, but not every single batter was up there looking to hit home runs. They had guys that were spraying it around the field and had good approaches. It wasn't all of them that had 90 strikeouts this year, although that did happen. I think there's too many of the wrong guys and not enough of the right guys in terms of lineup balance that created the feast or famine feeling when it came to this offense. And that's something that they need to address in recruiting for sure. But they've been, although pretty thin in a way, this has been their strength, and their strength failed them. It just happened to be on the biggest stage of the sport. And that's unfortunate. It's still a successful season, but I really believe in Joel Mangrum. I think that pitching is going to be evaluated and handled pretty well. I would like to see a more different construction of the lineup next season when it comes to the type of hitters that they have, as opposed to what they had this season, which led to the high strikeout rate and a lot of the offense disappearing at times. It didn't today, but it did way too much this season. And then, kind of playing yourself out of the game with a dropped fly ball and things like that. They were not a good fielding team this season. They had some bright spots, but generally not a good fielding team this season. Again, that is another thing that needs to be addressed this offseason. So it's an odd feeling because you're not happy despite them reaching the pinnacle, but I think you're justified in not walking away with this with 100% everything is awesome and this was great, and if you're upset, you should not be. No, I think you should be. Going 2-Q in Omaha is not how this team should have ended their season, in my opinion, considering where they got. It should have gone differently. It just didn't. That is sports. That is especially this one. It's just unfortunate that happened to this team. All right, we'll get to your comments. That's what we're actually here for. After I tell you about Logan Smith Shelter Insurance. It is raining outside. You're going to need homeowners insurance. I need to get some different homeowners insurance myself. Already going through auto with Logan Smith. I'm going to do home as well, and you should too. 601-823-3500. 601-823-3500. Anywhere in Mississippi, auto, home, life, or insurance for your business. Logan Smith at Shelter has got you covered. Give them a call. It's worth it. Just a few minutes, even if you already have insurance, even if you like your insurance. What's 5 minutes going to hurt you? 601-823-3500. Also, Priority One Bank. They make you their priority every day with their online banking platform. Local loan servicing and decision-making, and more. Check them out at Priority One Bank and bank with me there. Also, Advantage Business Systems for all of your Mississippi office technology needs. Anywhere in this state, absms.com is where you go. Tell everybody that it was me that sent you there. So, yeah, glad to be back, guys. Glad I'm with you. I did upset some burners online, and I lacked a little self awareness, but on Friday night, I was very happily tweeting about the USA soccer team because we were in the World Cup and we played. I say we like I'm on the team and I'm on the team. I hate when people do that. But here I am doing it. They played really well. Possibly the best half that they have had in 24 years. And so I was excitedly tweeting about that while also watching Ole Miss, while also with my family on vacation. Luckily, I have a sports family where everybody would have been watching the games regardless. But I upset some burner accounts on Twitter. I was told to read the room. There's probably some validity to what they were saying as Ole Miss is playing and it's not going well. I am excited because things are going well in a different game, but it's one of those sorry, I'm not sorry kind of situations because I absolutely love our national team and I absolutely love this tournament, and watching them play that well really excited me. However, I am aware of how that looked, and if you were upset by my actions, I am sorry that you were upset. But I'm not sorry for being excited about what was going on, because that was an absolute joy to watch. We, as a country, don't look like that ever. Not in my lifetime that I remember anyway. So hopefully that carries over into Friday. But sorry, I lacked a little self-awareness there. A little bit. My bad. To the comments. Hope you had a great trip. I did. I did. A lot of driving, a whole lot of driving, but a lot of fun. We went to the Georgia Aquarium on the way home today. My dude is fearless. Look at this. This is it's a freshwater stingray. Those are real. They're in the Amazon. Look at. I don't know if it's going to focus. Just fearless. He just walked right up and was like, fingers in the. Let me touch that thing. That stingray is bigger than him, and just absolutely fearless. If they're not paying me for this, but look at that. Awesome. They're not paying me for this at all. It's just how I feel. If you get the opportunity to go to the Georgia Aquarium, you absolutely should. That place was incredible. Expensive as all get out, to be honest with you. Holy crap. But it was worth it, man. The dolphin show was extremely cool. We sat in the splash zone, got absolutely soaked. I still smell like salt water. I have not showered since we got home. Got absolutely soaked. Just splashed the hell out of us. It was awesome. Got to hang out with the cousins and do all that, watch some baseball and some soccer. It was good. It's just depressing. Thank God it's football season. Absolutely. This is such a fascinating offseason, and I can't wait to hear more about this team as training camp starts. As you guys know, we're going to media days next month. I guess it's 5 weeks from now. So really looking forward to hearing from Pete Golding. I assume Trinidad and Lacey are going to come. It would be a mistake if neither one of them do. I am curious about who the fourth or the third player would be. I would bring Eccles myself because I think that's going to be Ole Miss's highest draft pick next year. And so bring your star power. He may not want to, I don't know, but that's who I would bring personally. But I'm curious to hear about them. You know, what's this offseason like for Trinidad being the guy that he was not last offseason? It was Austin Simmons' team last year. So what's it like for you now? What's different? You being the guy, this being your offense, your team, and then it's a new offense. What's that? What is that like for you? Kewan Lacey. I mean, you'll get to talk about video game covers and stuff with him. Physically, how's he feeling after offseason surgery? Eccles, it's more the same for him. His side of the ball hasn't changed much. It's the same coordinator, same defensive line coach, but he's just got all kinds of buzz in terms of being. I mean, I've seen some NFL draft guys talk about, hey, here's a guy that, looks like he's a top 15 pick even. He's got that kind of buzz. So, and then, of course, Pete Golding, for obvious reasons, for all kinds of reasons. He will be a very popular person at SEC Media Days because of everything. So it's a fascinating football team from a national perspective. I mean, I got my stepbrother's a big Florida fan, has no ties to Mississippi or anything. He's like, what are you thinking about Pete Golding? That people are curious and interested about this team, and they should be. They're very interesting. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be really fun this offseason. And then the season, of course, is going to be fun, but that's a long way away. The season is undoubtedly a success. I thought they finally paid their price today for wearing out Hooks, but they just didn't play well, which they did in the Super Regional. Yeah. Managed to collapse enough after to make what I thought was an absolute BS on the balk call not matter. Yeah, Ben McDonald, I see a lot of people on Twitter. I need to get off Twitter. I really need to get off that website. Doing that's an obvious balk call. Man, a major league pitcher was like, I don't know what they're looking at. I don't see anything here. I don't know what they're calling. When that guy is questioning it, I think it's fair to question whether or not it was one. I mean, that's a two out balk too with a lead. So that's a big spot for one. Like you said, they completely fell apart, so it became inconsequential. But I think if Ben McDonald's questioning it's fair for us to question it too. It's certainly not clear the way some people were saying. Team completely unraveled after that. It did. Do away with the power hitters next season. Not exclusively, but yes, I do think there needs to be more balance in this lineup. Devastated. Especially the unraveling is hard to watch. If you said they'd be up 1 on UNC in the 7th and up 4 on Troy in the 5th, I think most Ole Miss fans would take it. Can't believe the bullpen blew it twice in a row, especially Hooks. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's that their best thing, the thing they're best at is what failed them. And that's the toughest part about this. 8 runs was enough to win despite them disappearing in the second half of the game. Yep. 83 days, playoff Pete and the boys take the field. Very, I keep saying this. I'm not, I don't have many thoughts going on up here. But one of them is, and like, even my guy Haydad's like, well, if they don't beat Louisville bad, people are going to question Pete Golding. And he's right about that. There are going to be people that are like, oh, Lane would have won by 28 or whatever. Any win against Louisville is a good win, regardless of what the narrative is. Narratives are dumb. Any win against Louisville in week 1 is a good win. I'm telling you, that's going to be a good football team. And I am consistent. I am nothing if not consistent. If Ole Miss goes up there and wins and plays really well and they win by 4 touchdowns or whatever, then I'll come back right on here and on Sports Talk Mississippi and talk about, like, damn, this team, like, I know it's week 1, but you're talking about their path to the college football playoff. That's how solid I think Louisville is. It should be a preseason top 25 team. I don't know if it will or will not. It should be. I certainly think by season's end, they will be. And so, yeah, what a great test to start this season. And a really good opportunity for Pete Golding to kind of get them to focus on something other than LSU, because everybody around them, of course, is talking about LSU. Anytime they get online, there's LSU fans in the comments and stuff. You know, Louisville is it would be worse if it was Citadel, Charlotte, LSU. I think Louisville almost gives them a chance to focus on something else. You know what I mean? Balk turned the tide, the momentum shifted, and they never recovered. Glad Furness got a homer for his last hit. Yep. For sure. I think this season is another step in the right direction, particularly due to making Omaha. I do. You would hope that this will also inject a little bit of financial life into the portal budget, if you will. I know they're certainly not lacking. There's this idea that Ole Miss doesn't. They don't have NIL money to play with. They do. Maybe not as much as what State paid for their team this year or what LSU is going to pay for their team this year. But they're not broke in baseball budget either. I think that it's more nuanced than, well, they're only investing in the middle of the league. Yeah, the middle of the SEC is in the top 1% of the country. They can go get players. That they have the money to do that. You would hope, though, a trip to Omaha might inject a little bit of life into that. Some should have went with Townsend. You know, I hear you, and especially, I mean, Elliott just has not been good this year. He has not been himself. I don't remember anybody going into the game saying that, though. That they needed Hunter Elliott to beat Troy if they were going to actually make a run and go to the championship series. That was the last game you'll ever watch not being married. How about that? Can't thank Ole Miss enough for the athletic year they've had. A football team that was 18 seconds from the title and in a College World Series appearance. Yeah, again, as I say all the time, Chris Beard got lucky that football happened and baseball made it to Omaha. A lot of pressure taken off of his shoulders as a result, but kind of maxed his team out. If you think about it, they had a lot of inefficiencies. Yes. I mean, 2 huge portal ads that did not work out. did not get the offensive output, at least consistently, from a handful of their everyday starters. I mean, they had the switch at shortstop. I mean, Foley hit 234. Your shortstops hit 244 and 259. They didn't get enough, you know. Federico ended up being awesome by season's end, by the way. But let's be real, the season was over Friday night. This team was not built to win 4 straight games and then go win 2 more next weekend. Probably so, but at least winning 1 game in Omaha would have made this feel a little bit better, I think. Friday night was more upsetting to you than today. It's not fair to Troy, but it being Troy changes the calculus on this a little bit. Bullpen had a 2.5 ERA in the regional, in the super regional, and a 13.5 in Omaha. There you go. Yep. Poor Owen Pano. He just removed all doubt. Too many swing and miss guys. All respect to Utermark, Bissetta, and Foley are some of the biggest offenders too. Wait, all respect to Utermark, period. Bissetta and Foley are some of the biggest offenders too. Yeah. You've got, let's see. Where are the strikeout numbers? Utermark had 85. But so this is before today, I think, because Bissetta hit the 90 mark. You had 2 players over 80, one at 79, one at 73. That wasn't even really an everyday starter. Furness struck out 57 times. That's brutal. That's really brutal. I mean, Pano had 54 strikeouts. Was not an everyday player. At the end he was, but not initially. Pasella had 33 strikeouts on 66 at-bats. Literally half of his at-bats were strikeouts. That's tough. Bottom of the order had their best game of the entire season today. Go figure, it happens when the top of the order doesn't show up. Honestly, next year will probably be a struggle, probably losing all 3 starting pitchers. 6 out of 9 in the starting lineup are gone in all likelihood, possibly more gone to other schools. The pitching, yeah. I think that Mangrum has built some capital to trust that they'll be able to build that up. And again, replacing 6 of 9 in the lineup, and a lineup that disappeared too much and struck out too much is, it sucks that it's Utermark and Furness, right? That part of it sucks. They do need to rework this lineup, though. Things are a little mixed today, but the last 2 years, getting them back to where they need to be, 2 40-plus win seasons, a regional host and appearance in Omaha, be more consistent now, yeah. Shout out to the team, 2 years removed from being in the basement of the league. Guys who stuck it out got to Omaha. Proud of guys like Hunter, Judd, and Furness, etc. Need to keep Braden Randall around. He's a solid player. He is. Yes, he is. Hayden's probably gone. Heard too much from people that he's probably in the portal. That would be unfortunate. They're going to have to pay to keep him, but that is how most people have to do with most of their good players. So, can you give them an A- for going 0-2 in Omaha? I think getting the College World Series kind of gets the grade to an A regardless. Yes, anything lower than an A- is being unfair. For the casuals, what's a realistic expectation for the Americans in the World Cup now that we're a game down? If they make it to the quarterfinals, it's like thumbs up, they did good, depending on the draw. But at this point, with the way the group looks, I think they're at least getting 7 points in this group. So I'm worried about the back line. Tim Ream's going to get tested a lot, I think, against Australia. He's an old man, although he played well on Friday. He's an old man, and they've got speed. But if they get to the quarters, job well done. Anything short of that is probably disappointing at this point, considering the form that they appear to be in. Anything above that is icing on top of the cake there. The boys on the pitch would want you to say we. I know, especially when it's the United States, it's a little bit different. But assuming Payno, Fed, and Randall are back, if you can keep Foley and Decker from going to the draft, you have a really good foundation for the lineup/defense next year. Didn't they just get a first baseman in the portal? So you would think that you've got Furness's replacement down. When the portal thing happens, we'll talk about that too this offseason. So coming from a NASCAR fan, don't apologize for liking a fringe sport, like what you like. Yeah, it was not about liking the sport. It was about the timing that upset people. But any chance Lacey and Trinidad are first rounders next year? I think Lacey more likely than Trinidad. But if whatever Trinidad was doing at the end of last season continues for 12 games this year, then he can be. This is seemingly a more impressive quarterback class than last year's, but Lacey more likely to me than Trinidad. You're rooting for Oklahoma on the right side of the bracket? I am. Need to get rid of PitchCom and go back to signals. Yeah, at this point, the thing in the hat not working and any stadium with any kind of noise was, yeah. Let's stop rushing everything to get here. When it does, it will be over the next day. It always feels like that. Yeah, true. I'm going to try to enjoy my summer, but football is what I live for. So, you can say that's baseball, but Ole Miss made Omaha with like 2/3 or 1/2 of the spending on the roster and coaches that State and LSU did. State went all in and will again, as we know. Yeah. Does the season force Elliott to come back? I hear he has one more in the back pocket. He does. There's some mixed rumors, if you will, about what his future will be. He's 24 now? I don't know if you're really improving your draft stock this much. You are who you are. I know it's a bad season, but how much better could he get? I guess the only thing that would keep him is he gets a really, really, really bad draft grade, and Ole Miss is willing to pay him a lot more than what Major League Baseball is. I don't know. Batting averages of this team are wild for a College World Series team. Yeah, 3 guys over 300, and they're 302, 306, 309. Now, I know batting average is not what the baseball people look at anymore, but still, you're right. Don't remember the pre-2023 teams with this much swing and miss. Yeah, they've got to adjust the lineup approach. Yeah, the strikeouts are ridiculous. Please retire, Mike. He just took his team to Omaha. I don't think you're getting a retirement this offseason. I don't think so. Barring any portal players, can they not just have all three of Payno, Decker, and Randall in the infield? Probably Randall at third. If he can do it, and you can get them all back, obviously, yeah. And I'm with you. I don't see Major League Baseball in Hunter Elliott's future. Maybe I would love to be wrong about that. I don't see that, especially with the command issues. Binko's post-game remarks were emotional to watch. I need to go watch those. I have not yet. Admittedly, I've been, getting everything, back in order. So I will, I'll check those out. But hey, anyway, I appreciate you guys. We'll be back on Tuesday. We're back on routine for a while. So that's a good thing. And we'll be back on Tuesday. I really appreciate you guys. Full steam ahead on football. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Y'all have a good one.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.